Here's David. So good extension and pretty good rotation. Your hips and legs are probably just a little low. You know, as you speed up, that'll plane out a little more. Something you could try to do is, you know, you're looking straight, or you're looking mostly straight down, so you're not going to want to adjust that too much. If you can make your kick as effective as possible, that'll help with the upper body position. And this one's a little faster, so let's see what happens here. Well, from an above water standpoint, if you can bring your arms back around as quickly as possible, that's going to help somewhat with where you're entering and extending to. You're sort of going right to the center line, and you want to be off to the side a bit on both arms. And then I know on the underwater, your pull is mostly just a straight arm pull. So if you can get more of a high elbow catch, I apologize for the film jumping around a little bit. If you can get more of a high elbow catch, that's going to help your speed and body position. But good rotation here, and your hips aren't terribly low, so it's not something I'd be overly concerned with. Here, see how your hands go right in front of your head. You want them off the side, maybe just a couple inches on both sides. The main reason for that is because when you start the pull, if you can be just off to the side a bit, you're going to use your lats a bit more. You get better leverage, especially if you're doing a high elbow catch. At the end of the video here, I've got freeze frame so you can see this in slow-mo, but both your arms are pretty much a straight arm pull. The issue or problem with that is that the first third of the stroke really isn't moving you forward. It's sort of pushing your body up, and it's not until you get a third of the way in that your pulling motion is really moving you forward. Your hips and legs are fine. That's not something to worry about. The drills that are most beneficial, the one arm drill really helps. Doggy paddle, doing the fist drill and really trying to concentrate on getting your forearm vertical relative to the bottom of the pool as quickly as possible. And you probably remember me talking about this. The tech paddle is a good tool to use to try and really get that technique down. Locally, Inside Out Sports sells a forearm fulcrum, which is a very similar tool. So you can see how your hands were going right to the middle. The other, if you rewind this, the other thing that goes on there is that your hips will rock slightly from side to side. So you're doing a better a catch here, you know, catch position, high elbow catch position when you do one arm. So that's a lot better. So one arm drill is going to be the way to go. You literally could do a practice where you do almost nothing but one arm drill. You'd probably be pretty sore after that. And it's the motion itself begins with the shoulder rotation. So you're rotating that shoulder internally, and then it'll help get the elbow and forearm and hand into the right position. Oh, this is good. So this is where I just had you think about it. So you're really just concentrating as much as possible on getting a high elbow catch. So it's improved from the first step. Could still be a little better. And here just working on where your hand is extending to. And again, the same thing. You were still sort of right next to the center line on that, the one we just watched. So this one, you see a definite difference, and it may feel like you're really wide, like too wide, but you're really not when you do this. So your hand's just off to the side. Some of them are still going right to the center, but a lot of them are really where you should want to be. So that looks better. Trying to pull everything together, hands a little wider, trying to get a good catch. And picking up the tempo just a bit. So this, to me, this looks better. It looks like you know, more powerful swimming, which is going to translate into faster swimming. And I don't recall if your workouts are, I think you were just swimming laps. If that's the case, you know, doing sets where you break it up into, like, you know, 10 100s, 15 100s, things like that is really helpful with rest in between, so that you can get your effort higher. So here you can see just the upper arm and forearm are one straight line. So that's a straight arm pull. When you see somebody doing a high elbow catch, there's a marked difference between the angle of the forearm and the angle of the upper arm. And when we're talking about high elbow catch, we're always talking about the first half of the stroke, essentially. Once you get past the midpoint, then it's a pushing motion. So good extension and rotation, no problems there. And then upper arm and forearm, when viewed from the side, are still in one line there. You may have a little bit of internal rotation with the forearm, but that's a different story than the high elbow catch. And then a good finish. So you got all that, so just concentrate on getting the catch and you're going to be faster.